Generally, when you're en route on an IFR flight, you'll navigate on the airways from VOR to VOR. When you're arriving or departing a terminal area, you'll either fly a published procedure or get radar vectors to a published route. But there may be times when ATC vectors haven't gotten you all the way to your assigned route and you'll need to find it on your own. Suppose, for example, that you're flying from Wichita's mid-continent airport right here to Kansas City. After takeoff, you're receiving radar vectors from departure control to avoid inbound traffic. You're still on a vector when ATC advises that they have lost radar contact and instructs you to proceed on your own navigation to join Victor 12, which is northeast of the Wichita VOR. Here it is right here. Right away, you'll need to choose a heading to intercept Victor 12. To do that, you need to know exactly where you are. Since Victor 12 was in your clearance, you've already tuned and identified this Wichita VOR. Let's say you've turned the OBS knob to center the CDI needle with a from flag and you discover that you're on the 105 radial. Now Victor 12 is on the Wichita VOR 057 radial north of where you are. And once you get there, you'll track that 057 radial to the northeast to get to Kansas City. ATC's last vector and your current heading is 050 degrees. Okay then, does 050 degrees look like a good heading to intercept Victor 12? Being the crafty instrument pilot that you are, you're correctly saying, no, probably not. Although that heading is in the right direction, it only makes a 7-degree intercept angle with the airway radial of 057. With that small an intercept angle, crosswinds might blow you further away from it. So how much intercept angle do you want? In most cases, you should intercept an airway radial with an angle of at least 20 degrees. That way, you're reasonably assured that the wind won't keep you off course. You could intercept at an angle of up to 90 degrees, like here, but obviously, with any more than that, it takes you in the wrong direction on the airway. In general, a 30-degree to 45-degree intercept works pretty well, and it's easy to estimate a heading that will give you that. Using our example, you've set 057 on your OBS and confirmed that you have a from flag agreeing with your course away from the VOR. Since your CDI needle moved all the way to the left, you'll want an intercept heading to the left of 057 degrees. If you have any doubts about which direction to turn, draw yourself a picture like this. Using this point as the Wichita VOR, draw a line up and to the right for the 057 radial, or Victor 12, and another to the right sloping down a little bit for the 105 radial where you are currently. On the 105 radial, put an arrow or stick airplane pointing northeast on your current 050 degree heading. Nice diagram. Now you can quickly see what approximate headings would give you a good intercept angle with Victor 12. If you choose a 45-degree intercept angle, an easy way to estimate the heading is to find 057 on your heading indicator and count 45 degrees to the left. That gives you 012 degrees. After you turn to 012 degrees, you can check that you have a 45-degree intercept by seeing if 057 is on the 45-degree index of your heading indicator, just like that. Then simply hold your intercept heading until you see the CDI needle approaching the center. A 45-degree turn back to the course takes about 15 seconds, so judge your turn to course based on how fast you see the needle move. You'll want to lead the turn so you don't overshoot the course center line. If you've judged your turn well, the needle should center up just as you finish your turn, and bingo, you find yourself happily on Victor 12. If crosswinds were forecast, you should put in a crab to compensate. But today, the forecast winds at your altitude are from the southwest. The tailwind leprechaun is apparently smiling upon you. Now remember, this is a hypothetical situation. Your actual winds may vary. So you start with a heading the same as your course of 057 degrees. But as luck would have it, your needle starts to move to the right. So there must actually be a crosswind from the right blowing you to the north of your course. You want to stop your drift off course and correct back as quickly as you see it. The smaller the deviation off course, the smaller the corrections you'll have to make. If you wait too long, your track along the course could look like the edge of a very large saw. Not good, since you're expected to stay on the center line of the airway. Plus, airways and the terrain protection they afford generally extend only 4 miles either side of the center line. Here, you are 1 dot or 2 degrees off, and the needle wasn't moving too fast, so you try a 5-degree correction to the right for a heading of 062 degrees. That heading stopped your needle movement, but the needle isn't moving back to the center. You remain 2 degrees off course. You need more correction, so try an additional 5 degrees or a heading of 067 degrees. Like that, your needle starts moving back to the center. When it's in the center, take out half of the correction and try a heading of 062 degrees to see if that will hold it. And in this case, it looks like it will. You know, professional instrument pilots take pride in flying precise courses and using smooth control inputs. Their passengers seldom know when they're making a change. There's no secret. They achieve those standards by catching the slightest deviation, and they correct with very small changes. But, professional pilot or not, you can use those same keys for safe and successful instrument flying.